Buying your first luxury perfume can honestly feel like a very high pressure situation, and you feel the pressure to get it right the first time, especially since you are most likely spending your hard-earned money to invest in this fragrance. As a general rule, luxury fragrances should usually, your first luxury fragrance in particular, should be more of a versatile and easy to wear and a very flexible fragrance to wear on a number of different occasions. Okay, you don't want to purchase a perfume that you're only going to wear, once or twice a year. You want to purchase a perfume that's going to serve you well and that is going to last, that it's going to be timeless, that it's going to be easy to pair with whatever situation you find yourself in. Today, I am going to be sharing with you 7 luxury perfumes that do just that. They're versatile, they're easy to wear, and they have the quality that you are looking for. Hello, my name is Ellison, and I am on a mission to help you smell good all the time. So if you're interested in seeing more, then hit that subscribe button. All right, so the first fragrance that we're going to talk about, listen, okay, so I have talked about this fragrance on a number of occasions, and for good reason, because it is fantabulous. Now, I'm not going to say that I have all of these in full-size bottles, because I don't have them all in full-size bottles. If you stick around long enough here on my channel, you will come to realize that I am incredibly picky and particular about what perfumes make it into my collection, okay? I have to be thoroughly obsessed, I have to be thoroughly obsessed with a perfume in order for it to be in my collection, okay? I'm not just collecting to have them. And so these perfumes, I love all of these perfumes. Not all of them I want full-size bottles in my collection, so I have a lot of testers, and that is what I recommend you do before we get started actually talking about these perfumes. Get testers, okay? Do not go out and just buy a perfume. Even if you smell it in the store, don't just buy the perfume. I highly recommend you get a tester of the perfume, whether that is that you get a sampler pack from Sephora, whether that's you get a sample from Scentbird, whatever it is, go and find yourself a sample and test it for at least a week, okay? At least 7 days. Really get a feel for what this perfume is doing and how it reacts with you and your skin and your natural smell, if it lasts on you, things like that, okay? So I am not recommending that you go out and buy the full-size bottle of this perfume. I am recommending that you go out and you get a tester sample of these perfumes and you try them out, and then you purchase the perfume that works for you, okay? So that's what I wanted to say, is that most of these are testers, okay? Some of them, I really do want to get my hands on full-size bottles of them, but listen, money's a thing. So the first one we're going to talk about here is Lamu, okay? Brown Girl Jane Lamu. Now this perfume, this is probably oh my gosh. So when I talk about perfume, when I talk about, this is a fresher fragrance. When I talk about fresher fragrances, what I am looking for is density, okay? I'm looking for the density of a high quality luxury perfume, okay? There's a lot of florals, there's a lot of fresh perfumes on the market, but they don't have weight. I'm not looking for heavy. I'm not looking for overwhelming. I'm not looking for headache-inducing fragrances. I'm looking for density, okay? That the perfume stays together, that the perfume feels like it has the weight, that it's grounded, that it's founded on something very sturdy, okay? That the fragrance notes hold their own. And this perfume, precisely that, okay? This has a sort of a watery, suede-y, plumeria feeling about it, okay? So it's very fresh, incredibly fresh, but it has the density that you're looking for in order to make a statement, in order to stand out, in order to be unique, but it's not overwhelming by any means. I honestly, this is a perfume that I would recommend anybody have in their collection, just because it's one of those perfect go-to fresh everyday fragrances, okay? If you are spending a day in the office, perfect, right here. If you have an interview, perfect, right here. If you are, going to an afternoon party, perfect, right here, okay? So this perfume is insanely versatile. It smells good and it smells appropriate in any occasion. I love this fragrance, okay? I love this fragrance and I could not recommend it enough. The second fragrance, and I'm trying to include a lot of different tastes that you might have as a person, because we all have different tastes, obviously, in what we like. So this perfume is Net the Vanille. So this perfume is a little warmer, obviously, the Vanille, and it's a very nice classic vanilla fragrance. What I'd have to say about this fragrance is that it's got a nice balanced amount of warmth and woodsiness, okay? So it has a little bit of that like woodsy, spicy nature to it, but it's softened by the vanilla. And what I really like about this perfume is that it's sweet, but it's not little girl sweet, okay? It's not teenager sweet. It is leveled up sweet. It is, you know what? I'm a woman now, and I still like sweet fragrances, and I still like warm fragrances, and I still like vanilla. But we're gonna step it up a notch, and we're going to add a little bit of this spicy nature to it, okay? A little warm, a little bit more grounded, a little more subtle, but still like, oh wow, you smell good, okay? This perfume is absolutely beautiful. So I really do think that this fragrance, it's a really nice perfume to add to your collection, because while it is warm and while it is vanilla, it is seasonless, it is eventless, meaning that you can wear it anywhere, okay? I would easily wear this to go to work. I would easily wear this to run errands all day. I would easily wear this to, you know, my niece's birthday party in August, okay? So this is just one of the, if you like a warmer fragrance. There are those of us, I tend to like a warmer fragrance. There are a lot of us where it's like, okay, sure, the light, fresh fragrances are nice, but what I'm always looking for is just a really nice, flexible, versatile, warm fragrance that doesn't feel like it's stuck in the, you know, autumn and winter. This perfume is precisely that. It's very versatile, very easy to wear. All right, the next one, this one has sort of rocked my world. I recently have had like an awakening in regards to fruity fragrances, and this perfume is one of them that has awakened this passion, I'm gonna say. So this is the Ellis Brooklyn Sunfruit perfume. Listen, this doesn't smell anything like the Brown Girl Jane Lamoux perfume, but it sort of gives the same vibe as that perfume, where it's very fresh, it's easy to wear, but it's still grounded. It still has the thickness that I'm looking for in a fresh perfume. That, you know, it's sort of, how I like to describe it is that it gives my mind, it gives my brain something to chew on, something to digest, something to process, okay? It's not airy-fairy in my brain. It's like, yes, I'm here, I've arrived, I'm a perfume, I smell like something, and I last, and things like that, okay? It just has this element of quality. It has this element of, I'm a little bit more than your average fresh fragrance. It has just like a tiny little hint of sweetness to it, and that is purely from the fruity fragrance notes in this perfume, okay? It has the fruity sweetness. It has this very delicate fruity sweetness. And once again, this is not a teenager's perfume. This is not a little girl perfume. This is not that, you know, strawberries and cream kind of situation. This is the perfume where it's like this is dignified fruity. This is, business fruity, okay? Because we all love a fruity fragrance. We all love something that's really, you know, it's fun, it's easy, it's versatile, stuff like that, but we still want to be taken seriously. And that is precisely what this perfume is. That's precisely what Ellis Brooklyn Sunfruit is. And if I'm honest, just shameless plug here, I would highly recommend you check out Ellis Brooklyn. I know, and I'll link it down below. Ellis Brooklyn has an amazing sampler kit that I got from Sephora that has, you know, all their fragrances in it. Holy smokes. I have been, every single perfume I've tried from that collection, blown my mind. I mean, it's just a fabulous collection. Well-made perfumes, beautiful fragrances, unique fragrances, but they're still very wearable, but they're not overwhelming. They're well crafted to where you can smell them, and they have fabulous projection, but they are not the kinds of perfumes where it's like they feel like you're shrouded in this cloud of perfume and you have a headache, okay? Ellis Brooklyn. I cannot recommend their perfumes enough. Take a swig here before we move on. Okay, so the next perfume, this one, I'm going to recommend a perfume to you, and then I'm going to recommend another perfume to you because of this perfume, okay? The first perfume I'm going to talk about is the Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, okay? And Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, it is made out of a fragrance note called Cedillacs, okay? Ugh, Beautiful. Okay, Cedarlux is a fabulous fragrance note. It's one fragrance note, and basically it is a very woodsy, very natural, very clean, minimalistic fragrance note. Super versatile, super easy to wear, very pleasant, and very easy to smell. And I mention this perfume because I mean, if you are looking for that perfume where it's like, I can wear this anywhere, and, you know, maybe if you are prone to having headaches, maybe if you are prone to having a perfume, you know, affect you negatively and make you not feel very good, then this perfume, I mean, it's just so minimalistic and simple and easy to smell, easy to wear. It's very gentle, very subtle. Yeah, this perfume, absolutely gorgeous, okay? And like I said, it has that woodsy nature about it, but it's sort of also, you know, when you like hear or see different pictures of like cashmere and how it's just, it has this rough texture or look about it, but it's very soft and silky. That is what this really reminds me of, is that whole cashmere feeling where, you know, it looks a little rugged, it looks, you know, very natural and textured and everything like that. The smell's very natural and textured, but it's soft. It's very smooth. It has a buttery feeling about it. And I mean, this is so silky smooth while still having a very woodsy and rugged texture about it. Caveat, this perfume, not everybody can smell this perfume, okay? There's a lot of people, there's a major portion of the population that is unable to smell Cedarlux, okay? We're nose blind to it. I'm not one of them, I can smell it, but there's a lot of people who can't smell it. So, I say that because make sure you get a tester of this. Do not buy a full bottle of this unless you know that you can smell it, okay? So definitely, like this is Scentbird, so definitely go and try to find a tester of Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume. If you are nose blind to it, I have a perfume that like almost exactly resembles, it's raining outside, so don't mind that if you hear it. This perfume so closely resembles the Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, but it does not have Cedarlux in it, okay? So this perfume is the commodity paper in the personal scent space, okay? So these are going to be the white bottles, and this perfume, oh my word, like it like so closely resembles the Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume. It's not even funny. And since it is the personal scent space, it behaves a lot like the Juliet Has a Gun perfume does, because the personal scent space is meant to be a very gentle fragrance. It's meant to be a very easy fragrance to smell. It's meant to be a little bit more subtle, a little bit more close, okay? So perhaps you are the only one who can really smell it. You and, you know, maybe one other person that's beside you or something like that. And it's just a very easy and gentle fragrance to smell. This perfume, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I think that this perfume is a fabulous replacement for the Juliet Has a Gun perfume if you are unable to smell the Juliet Has a Gun perfume. Just because it has that same woodsy nature, it has that same softness, it has that same sort of ruggedness but subtlety, okay? So yes, this perfume, commodity paper, personal scent space, is a fabulous replacement for the Juliet Has a Gun perfume. All right, the next fragrance, I do have a full-size bottle of this, and this was actually my first luxury fragrance that I got for Christmas, and this is the Versace Eros Perfume perfume, okay? So this perfume, this is like your classic luxury fragrance, okay? So we all know, we've all smelled those classic old luxury fragrances that it's just, you know, they have this florally fresh element about them, okay? That is precisely what the Versace Eros perfume is just this very natural, very easy, very light, classic luxury fragrance, okay? This perfume is actually loaded with a number of lemon fragrance notes, okay? So there's like Sicilian lemon, I think, and then, you know, lemon flower, and there's one other lemon fragrance note in it. And the only way I know how to describe this perfume, like what I'm thinking when I smell this perfume, is almost like a fresh garden party that has champagne, okay? Like we are champagne central. That is what this perfume really makes me think of. It's a perfume that sort of sparkles. It's a perfume that's very light and airy, and it just has that bubbly nature about it. I love this perfume because it has a lot of energy, and it has the strength it has the grounding of a luxury fragrance. What I will say about this perfume is that it does not have the density that I tend to prefer. So that is sort of a downside about it, is that it doesn't have that density and that thickness that I'm looking for typically typically in a fresh fragrance. This perfume does not have that density, but it's definitely got that airiness. So if you are after airiness, if you are after very light, very easy, very, sort of the airy-fairy feeling of a perfume, if that's what you're after, then the Versace Eros Perfume, probably right up your alley. A gorgeous fragrance, and I really feel like it's a super easy perfume to pair with and to choose for any sort of event, okay? I mean, I've chosen this perfume when it's like, oh, I have to go to the office, oh, I have an interview, oh, we're going for a night out in the summertime, and, this perfume just works, okay? This perfume is so easy to pair with an event, to pair with, something that you're doing, whatever you're doing. This perfume it's an easy perfume to wear. And that is exactly what you should be looking for in your first luxury fragrance. You want to get the wear out of it. You want to get the wear time and the use out of it, because this is an investment. I know that it's really tempting to get a perfume where it's like, oh, I just don't wear it. But listen, honey, no, you're getting this perfume to wear it and to build you up and to build you and to level up your life in some fashion. So get a perfume that you're going to wear and then save for that special occasion perfume, okay? All right, the next perfume, and I do not typically like floral perfumes, okay? This perfume, though, has honestly changed the game for me. Again, I'm not a florals lady. I am not a florals girly by any means, but this perfume, it really just has that really nice, thick, dense, pleasant nature about it. This is not an airy-fairy floral. This is definitely a very dense floral. So this is the Henry Rose Flora Carnivora perfume. Oh my word, this perfume, this is such a gorgeous fragrance. I mean, it's like they chose the juiciest flowers known to man and loaded them in this perfume, okay? So typically, a floral perfume, it sort of has, once again, sort of a light airy-fairiness about it. It has this degree of like feminine innocence and flirtiness and girliness, okay? So florals really do tend to be a very flirty, girly kind of situation, right? Like think powder pink. That's what you're thinking, okay? This perfume, you're still thinking pink, you're still thinking girly, you're still thinking flirty, but this is more of like a really deep, like dusty rose pink, okay? Like that's what we're thinking here, is where it's like, you know what? Yep, we're still wearing the pink and we're still super girly, but this is like that dusty rose kind of pink. This is like the dignified, no, I'm a woman now kind of floral perfume. And I mean, I just love this fragrance because it just, again, it has this juicy nature about it that gives it the density that I love a perfume to have, where it feels like it's actually there, okay? It feels like something's actually happening. I actually smell like something. There's actually something on my body. There's something to give. And so I love this perfume, especially as a first-time luxury fragrance. If you are a florals girly, if you are one of those people where it's like, I mean, I've smelled a million different perfumes and I always come back to a good floral, you're gonna love this fragrance. You are going to be obsessed with this perfume. And not only are you going to be obsessed with this perfume, but it's just going to give you another level of dignified confidence, okay? People are going to feel very confident around you, right? Like, because you smell very feminine, you smell like a woman, but you smell like a woman that's, like, you know what you're doing, okay? So that's what I like about this perfume, is that it's very girly, okay? If you are like the girly, feminine person, I love that. This is the perfume you need, especially if you are really trying to give off that impression of capability, I'm going to say. Not to say that you're not capable or that you couldn't prove that on your own, but when you have a smell, that triggers something in somebody's brain, and this perfume is going to trigger some good things, okay? It's going to trigger good things. We are down to the last fragrance for today, and this perfume is the Commodity Gold Expressive, okay? So this is going to be a black bottle with white lettering on it, okay? So this is gold. This perfume, this is like a sleeper for me. This perfume, once again, it's another one of those super, I'm not gonna say super. This is another one of those warm fragrances that really gives like warmth, grounding, confidence. Yeah, it's got like the slightest hint of woodsiness to it, but it's not rugged, it's not rough. You know, I was saying that Not a Perfume, Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, sort of has a rugged roughness about it. This perfume, it sort of gives you that like a buttery warmth, a buttery wood, like just this decadence about it, okay? It's not sweet. I'm not gonna say it's not sweet. I don't want you to think that, but it just sort of glosses over you with this warmth, okay? Just this general warm fragrance. And what I'd have to say is that if you are somebody where it's like, I like warm fragrances, I love warm fragrances, I am your warm fragrance fanatic. If you are somebody that you love a warm fragrance and the only warm fragrances you tend to go for are sweet perfumes, because listen, I love my mom's perfume, but I don't want to smell like my mother, okay? That is what tends to happen, is that you either have warm fragrances that are super sweet and they smell super girly and like sort of juvenile, or you have warm fragrances that smell like your mom, that they smell, you know, Calvin Klein's Obsession, that it just smells like your mom. Doesn't smell old, it doesn't smell, you know, that's not what you're saying, it just smells like your mom. This perfume is that perfect in between where it's like, this is confidence, this is capability, this is dignified, this is powerful, and it's warm. It has this warmth about it that it gives you that, once again, just that dignified feeling while still having just the softness that you're looking for and the warmth that you're looking for, okay? And I think that this perfume I think is really impactful for anybody that, you know, once again, you are a professional person, you're a professional woman, you're trying to make a really good impression, you know, a young professional woman, and you're trying to, right, like, give off this vibe of maturity and capability. This perfume, this is going to do that for you. And I mean, I think that that's the sort of the final thing that I want to say about a luxury perfume, and this as your step of buying a luxury perfume, your first luxury perfume, is that these perfumes and perfume in general, perfume triggers an idea about you. Okay, people will look at, well, they'll smell you in some capacity, and it'll generate a thought about you, okay? And so if you show up with a perfume that smells very girly, that smells very young, that smells very youthful, then that's sort of the vibe that they're gonna get from you. That's sort of the feeling that they're gonna get from you, is young, is youthful. And there's nothing wrong with that, but when you are trying to sort of make a statement of maturity and, you know, oh, I'm like, yes, we're on to the next level here, right? We are taking on more responsibility, we're responsible, we're confident, we're dignified, and we know what we're doing. Having a perfume that really communicates that is going to help you loads, just because it's going to trigger an impression in people's minds. Not to mention it's going to make you feel more confident yourself. So those are my 7 perfume recommendations if this is your first luxury perfume, but I recommend these perfumes for anybody. So yes, I will have all of these perfumes linked down below if you are interested in checking them out, getting samples, okay? I'll have samples as well linked, just so that way you can really get a feel for what these fragrances smell like before you fully invest. And if you are interested in seeing more luxury fragrances that I have my eye on and that I am loving, then I would highly recommend you watch this video right here. These are the fragrances that I am currently obsessed with, and I'm sort of desperate to get my hands on full-size bottles of them. So definitely check that video out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you oh so very much, and until we meet again, so long.